Most English learners know a lot of words, but they still sound too basic when they speak. Let's fix that today.
15 advanced phrases that sound much more natural. Watch until the end and subscribe to keep improving your English. Let's go.
I keep hearing people talk about advanced phrases that make you sound natural. But what does sounding natural in English really mean?
It means speaking the way people actually talk in everyday life, not like reading from a textbook.
So textbook English and real-life English are different?
Yes. Textbooks often teach full and formal sentences, but real conversations are shorter, faster, and full of common expressions.
That makes sense, because sometimes my English is correct, but it still sounds a bit strange.
That happens because many learners build sentences word by word instead of using natural chunks.
That explains why I pause so much when I try to speak.
Exactly. Your brain is translating and building sentences at the same time.
So using ready-made phrases helps with fluency?
Definitely. Your brain recognizes them faster and produces them more naturally.
Can you give me an example of a phrase that sounds more natural than just saying, I think?
A great one is, to be honest. People use it before sharing a real opinion. For example, to be honest, I didn't expect the meeting to be that long.
That already sounds more like a real conversation.
Exactly. Another one is, truth be told. For example, truth be told, I was a little nervous before the presentation.
I like that. It sounds honest and reflective.
It really does.
What if I want to express a strong opinion but still sound polite?
You can say, as far as I'm concerned. For example, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best solution.
That sounds confident without sounding aggressive.
Exactly. It shows your perspective while staying professional.
How do people show strong agreement in natural English?
A very common phrase is, I couldn't agree more. For example, I couldn't agree more. That strategy really works.
That sounds stronger than just saying, I agree.
Yes, it shows complete agreement.
What about validating someone's idea?
A great phrase is, that makes perfect sense. For example, that makes perfect sense. The schedule change was necessary.
That sounds supportive.
Exactly.
Is there a more casual way to show agreement?
Yes. You can say, I'm with you on that. For example, I'm with you on that. Working remotely can be very productive.
That sounds friendly.
It creates connection in conversation.
What if I want to say I don't like something without sounding rude?
You can say, it's not my cup of tea. For example, that movie wasn't bad, but it's not really my cup of tea.
That sounds much softer.
Exactly.
Sometimes people ask me something and I have no idea what the answer is.
In that case, you can say, I haven't got the faintest idea.
That sounds more expressive than just saying, I don't know.
It adds a little emotion.
What if I want to give a quick guess?
You can say, off the top of my head. For example, off the top of my head, I think the meeting starts around 10.
That sounds very natural.
It prepares the listener for an approximate answer.
Sometimes conversations change direction. How do people transition smoothly?
A useful phrase is, having said that. For example, the plan is good. Having said that, we should review the budget.
That sounds like a more elegant way to say but.
Exactly.
Are there phrases that help people see the bigger picture?
Yes. One is, in the grand scheme of things. For example, in the grand scheme of things, this problem isn't that serious.
That really changes the perspective.
It helps people look at the bigger context.
What about summarizing a long story?
You can say, to cut a long story short.
That sounds very practical.
It helps move the conversation forward.
And when something benefits everyone?
Then people say, it's a win-win situation.
What if plans are uncertain?
People often say, let's play it by ear.
So it means deciding later?
Exactly.
How can learners remember these phrases?
The best way is to connect them to real situations in your life.
So instead of memorizing a list, I should imagine when I would say them.
Exactly. Context makes language easier to remember.
And what if I forget the phrase in the middle of a conversation?
That's completely normal. Fluency develops gradually.
Sometimes I feel nervous speaking English with fluent people.
That's very common, but natural communication matters more than perfect grammar.
So how can learners practice every day?
One simple technique is speaking out loud about your day. For example, to be honest, today was a productive day.
So even talking to yourself can help?
Absolutely. It trains your brain and your voice at the same time.
So expressions like to be honest or I'm with you on that help conversations flow?
Exactly. They guide conversations and make your speech sound natural.
That explains why native speakers respond so quickly.
They rely on familiar patterns their brains already know.
One thing I notice is that native speakers often react very quickly in conversations. How do they do that?
That happens because they rely on familiar patterns instead of building every sentence from scratch.
So their brains are recognizing expressions automatically?
Exactly. When a phrase is familiar, the brain retrieves it instantly, just like recognizing a melody you've heard many times before.
That makes sense. It's like the phrase is already stored and ready to use.
Right. That's why repetition is so powerful when learning a language.
So it's better to repeat a few expressions many times rather than trying to learn dozens at once?
Absolutely. Mastering a small group of expressions helps them become automatic.
And once they become automatic, speaking probably feels much easier.
Exactly. Your brain spends less energy thinking about the structure and more energy expressing ideas.
I guess that's why conversations start to feel smoother over time.
Yes, because fluency is really about flow, not perfection.
That's reassuring. Many learners worry about making mistakes.
And that fear can actually slow progress. The key is to focus on communicating your message.
So, natural communication matters more than perfect grammar?
In most everyday conversations, yes. If people understand you, communication is already successful.
That really changes the way I see language learning.
Exactly. Language is a tool for connection, not just a set of rules.
And using expressions like to be honest or I couldn't agree more helps build that connection.
It does. These expressions act like bridges between ideas.
Bridges between ideas. I like that way of thinking about it.
And the more bridges you learn, the easier it becomes to move through conversations naturally.
If someone wants to keep practicing English every day after this lesson, what should they do?
In the next video, called Daily English Conversation Practice, you'll see how real daily conversation practice works and how simple dialogues flow naturally.
That sounds really helpful for building confidence.
You'll also notice how small reactions like wow, really? And oh nice make conversations sound much more natural.
Interesting. Even small reactions matter.
Exactly. And you'll see why just 5 minutes of focused speaking practice every day can make a big difference.
I'm excited to try that.
Great! Click the Daily English Conversation Practice video and continue learning with us there.
See you there.
Bye!